the story of self-confidence and self-worth. On a mist-covered mountain peak, there was a peaceful temple known as a sanctuary for lost souls. There lived a wise old Zen master with his disciples. It was said that anyone who came to this place would find answers to the troubles in their heart. One day, a young woman, filled with confusion and self-doubt, arrived at the temple. Along her journey, she had to overcome steep cliffs, dark forests, and even the echoing voices in her mind that constantly reminded her of her insignificance and insecurities. When she finally stood before the Zen master, she spoke with a heavy heart. "Master, I feel lost. The world seems to constantly diminish my worth. How can I find confidence when everyone around me compares and judges?" The Zen master looked at her calmly and led her outside to a large, colorful garden. He pointed to a small, delicate flower standing among the more radiant blooms and said, "Look at this flower. It's not tall, it's not the brightest, yet it stands firm and proud in its own beauty. It does not compare itself to other flowers." The young woman stood in silence, thinking deeply, but still didn't fully understand. She asked, "Master, can such a small flower truly survive in a garden full of tall and radiant blooms?" The Zen master smiled and, instead of answering directly, asked her to follow him. They walked through the garden to a part where the tall flowers had withered due to lack of water. These once towering plants were now wilted, leaving behind only dry, broken remnants. The Zen master said slowly, "This garden was once full of tall flowers, but because they reached too high in their desire to stand out, they could not sustain themselves and slowly withered. Meanwhile, the small flower you saw thrives because it knows how to keep itself simple without overreaching and thus continues to receive nourishment from the earth." But the story did not end there. As night fell, the Zen master led the young woman into an ancient hall. There he asked her to light a candle. As the flickering light spread across the room, the master said, "This candle's light is small, yet it illuminates the entire room. Confidence is not about being the brightest, it's about embracing your own unique light, no matter how small it may seem." Just when the young woman thought she had understood, she was faced with one final challenge. As she prepared to leave, a fierce storm suddenly hit. Thunder roared, and the wind howled, tearing the sky apart. The young woman felt more insecure than ever. In the chaos of the storm, she became lost in a dense forest, not knowing which way would lead her back to the temple. But in the middle of the storm, she remembered the small flower the Zen master had shown her. She thought of its resilience, standing tall regardless of its circumstances, not needing to shine the brightest, only to exist in its own way. With this thought, she stopped running from the storm. Instead, she stood firm amidst the winds, relaxed, and embraced everything as it was. When the storm finally subsided, she found herself standing at the entrance to the temple. She had passed the final test, facing her fear and discovering the peace within. She returned to the temple, bowed before the Zen master, and thanked him with a heart full of confidence and serenity. And from that moment on, the young woman understood that true confidence doesn't come from striving to stand out or from others' recognition, but from accepting and honoring oneself, despite any comparisons or doubts from the outside world. If you feel inspired by this story, please hit the like button to support us, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below with your thoughts or the Zen stories you want to hear next. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next inspirational and peaceful moments. Your interactions are a source of encouragement for our journey. Thank you for accompanying us on the path of wisdom and enlightenment.